Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the BDI vlog. Today we're going to give you our 5 top tips for moving to the UK. Okay, so top tip number 1, you're going to want to know what you're getting yourself in for when you move to the UK. And on that basis, you should join as many social media groups as you can and ask as many questions as you can, not just about the process, but also about the employment that you're going to get into and the process that others went through to get there as well. So BDI Resourcing run IMG Advisor on Facebook, for example, and that's a space where we publish information, videos like this one, but about kind of places where to live, what it's like doing interviews, how to get your CV sorted out to give yourself the best opportunity. But it also means that you can ask your colleagues questions. So you can ask them what it's like working in certain hospitals, ask them about their experiences. If you're having any problems, you can put questions out there and we'll either help you or your colleagues can help answer those questions too. So really, really important. Instagram's a great place to be. I've already mentioned Facebook. There's not so much on LinkedIn. I think Facebook would be the main one. There are some good WhatsApp groups as well, but just make sure you're surrounding yourself with as much information as you can so that you know that as you start the journey, what you're going to expect at every stage. I think Fern's going to put the link to our IMG Advisor page here. Okay, so top tip number 2. Know where you're going. It's really important before you start your search that just as much as you want to know what you're going to get professionally, you need to know what you're going to get personally as well. And part of that is the geographical location. So where in the UK do you want to work? Are you looking for something that's a bit more remote? Are you in it for a lifestyle where you can go out walking and outdoor activities? So somewhere like the north of Scotland or maybe somewhere more remote in the southwest of England? Or are you looking for a big city, you know, with really diverse multicultural area and lots of things to do, theatres, restaurants, bars, etc. Obviously it's going to be a real kind of personal choice as to where you end up going, but you have to do your research. There are very, very different places in the UK with very, very different things available. So, you know, a lot of the doctors we work with have families, so that might mean that they want to live outside of a major city, or being near a school is really important, particularly if you have religious requirements. So maybe it's you know, an Islamic education school, or you need to be near a synagogue or a church, whatever it might be. You want to make sure that you're going to an area where your family is going to be comfortable as well, because ultimately, if your family doesn't settle and you're not happy personally, that's going to transfer into your professional life as well. Equally, if you're not aware of the surrounding area when you go for your interview, it probably won't come across very well. Just as much as an interview is an opportunity for the hospital to sell itself to you, you obviously need to sell yourself to the hospital, and part of that is knowing where you're going. So at the same time that you're researching the hospital department, the procedures, you must know where it is in relation to, you know, major cities in the UK. Are you close to any major airports? But knowing that you know where you're going and that the trusts know where they are and what their situation is really important, and it will stand you in good stead. Now, if you're working with a recruitment company, you can ask a lot of those questions to your recruitment consultant. So a lot of the doctors that we work with will ask us directly, or as with our first tip, we'll jump onto a social media platform or community to get support and advice. But if not, you know, have a look online on NHS jobs or pull up some old job descriptions. There's usually a section in those that tells you in quite depth, good depth detail, what the area is like and what to expect. But do your own research and know what you're getting yourself in for. Tip number 3, know your objective. So, are you trying to get into a training program? Are you trying to go through CSER to get into specialist register? It's really important that you understand, and it kind of ties in with your long-term objective. So why are you moving to the UK in the first place? Is what do you want to achieve professionally? Now, for more senior doctors, that might be, as I just mentioned, the specialist register, and that would mean joining a hospital that can provide you with CSER support in the form of secondments or an educational supervisor, someone that's going to help you put your portfolio together. For more junior doctors, or for some people who are in the middle looking at that CSER CP pathway, is about how do I get into training? Now, a lot of people don't realise that if you're applying for a UK training post from outside the UK, you're on a kind of second tier. So training posts will be released to UK-based doctors first, and only once that has been exhausted will they go beyond the UK and offer the opportunity to international doctors. So it's really important that you know and understand, again, exactly what the process is. So, you know, use online resources, look at our other blogs and vlogs, so that you understand that actually getting to the UK and doing a service level role, and once here, then applying for a deanery training rotation number and subsequently your training program, is going to probably be more helpful. we certainly find that when doctors come from overseas, it might be that you need time to adjust. In fact, you'll definitely need time to adjust. And especially if you're going into a junior doctor training program, having your core competencies signed off and having exposure in an environment where you are going to be, heavily supported and heavily supervised is going to be very, very beneficial. All right, tip number 4, know your documents. It sounds really, really fun. Obviously it's not, it's probably the most boring part of your move to the UK, but it's really, really important. So if you're coming from overseas and you're going to need to make a visa application, I suppose this ties into knowing the process again. Know which documents you're going to need. Things like certificates of good standing from medical organisations overseas, they can be timely to obtain. Police checks, again, from certain ministries overseas are particularly hard to find. And if you have lived or worked in a country that you're not currently working in, obtaining documents from those places might be quite difficult as well. So know what you need to get in order to go through each part of the process, whether that's a visa application, your GMC application, even something like Caesar. If you're going through the Caesar process, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot that you can do, and Caesar can be quite an overwhelming thing to learn about, but there's an awful lot that you can do before you arrive in the UK. I won't go into too much detail about that here. We've got lots of other resources and webinars and things where we can talk in detail about Caesar, and obviously contact us if you'd like to know more. But just get your documents organised and have them done in good time. Again, if you speak to us, we can give you an idea of the types of things that you might need, and we can talk to you about the time scale of when you need to hand your notice in, what documents you should have ready, how long is it going to take. But if not us, then speak to somebody, or at least in your own mind have an idea of what it's going to take. Okay, our final tip, and not one that I get to give very often, but leave your kids at home, or at least consider it. We find that when a lot of doctors move to the UK, there's a lot going on. So professionally, you're trying to get engaged with the NHS, you're trying to learn a new system. Privately, you're trying to find somewhere to live. If you do have your family with you, you're looking at schools, you're trying to sort out childcare, you need to work out where the local supermarket is. There's a lot going on. And although it sounds a bit counterintuitive, and I appreciate that, some people will just want to remain with their families, if at all possible, we do find that transitions can be easier if you relocate on your own to begin with, and then bring your family later. Now, your two options when it comes to the visa is that you can all make a visa application together at the same time, and your partner or children have 30 days to come into the country after you enter, or once you're here and you have your BRP, it's very straightforward to do an additional visa application to have dependents come and join you later. And it just gives you a bit of breathing space to get in and to get acquainted with things. If you are coming across during COVID, for example, you might have to be in quarantine accommodation, which can be not very nice for kids. I have kids myself, and I probably wouldn't want to be stuck in a hotel room with them for 10 days straight. So it gives you an opportunity to get here, open a bank account, find somewhere to live, and just kind of find your feet. So if at all possible, do consider coming by yourself, because you might find it's a lot easier. Thank you very much for watching. Those were our 5 top tips for relocating to the UK. We have a whole host of content online, so do have a look at our other blogs and vlogs. Get in touch if you need help, and if you have any questions about moving to the UK, we'd love to help you. Thanks very much for watching.